welcome to Restore Belief with Nikki. I am Nikki. Let me get set completely up here so that I receive all messages and that fun. Okay. Apparently 20 inches is just a tad bit too long. Anyway, I was trying to get it up there. Whatever. Anyway, all right. So tonight, and I don't know if I'm going to have mods tonight, so this is going to get interesting. Tonight's topic of discussion is a number of things that I kept coming across this week, which has been oh so fun, oh so pleasant. Let me get all this out of the way so it doesn't stops driving me nuts. Anyway, hello to those who are watching and listening. I do appreciate you being here. Okay, there we go. That's better. Gotta moisten the lips in order to be better. Anyway, hello. Fatty Cakes Productions. Hello. How you doing? So tonight's topic of discussion is the things that I've been hearing. Hello, Tammy. Yes, I'm live. Yes. Let me know that you can hear me correctly. Hello, Carson. How you doing? I'm glad you're excited to be here. So a lot has transpired in the last week, to say the very least. But the subject for tonight, yes, I can hear. Oh, thank you, loud and clear. Mwah! Thank you, folks. I most definitely appreciate that. And no buzzing, correct? That's the other thing, because I'm not plugged in. I want to be sure I'm not plugged in to where we have that damn buzzing. Anyway, okay, no buzzing. Thank you, Tammy. Anyway, so the things that I've been hearing. Hi, Old West. How you doing, hun? The things that I've been hearing this week are typical things that I hear all the time, but I heard a lot of them this week. Hello, Sharon. How you doing? My taste. Hello. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hello. DJ. I think that's Kirk. DJ. Anyway, hello. Mattis Nichols. Hello. Or Nickel. What's this stream about? Hello, Happy Days. Well, right now, first of all, welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Nikki Jacobs. I am an ET abductee, a psychic medium, lifelong ET abductee, surrogate mom of numerous hybrid children in one of the extraterrestrial hybridization programs. Not thrilled about it, but I'm very happy and thankful that I've got the children that I've got. Don't know how else to say that. Former forced participant in SSP. SSP is Sacred Space Program. Now, all of that said and done. Tonight, the things... I don't know. I think it's interesting how people who absolutely cannot handle hearing about extraterrestrials, how they get really derogatory and negative to people who are extraterrestrial abductees. Hang on one second. Having a little bit of a conundrum here with my lighting, or rather, my shadow lighting. There we go. Okay, so it's not quite as bright on my face. Anyhow, so space talks, yeah, it's not really space talks. It's it's extraterrestrials. It's ET abductions. So I've been a mod for a long time in a group chat. That group chat is just hunky-dory fine, not an issue, but I'm also a member. Oh, hey, Divine Hazel, how you doing, hun? Is it astrology? No, it's extraterrestrials. That's the topic of tonight's discussion, is extraterrestrials. And apparently that's not going to work. Okay, well, I tried. Anyway, maybe I can put this over here. Hang on one second. Oh, that works. Yay. Okay, I don't have to deal with that. Yay. All right. So tonight's topic is extraterrestrials and being an ET abductee. And in being an ET abductee, you get a lot of shit from a lot of strangers who don't have the comprehension of what it's like. I understand that. I get that. Years ago, I wouldn't have said anything to as a stranger to somebody who has experienced that, but I would have understood it to some degree. The way people talk to each other online, I get that. I get it. I understand it. Doesn't necessarily mean I agree with it or like it. Now, what's taken place in the last few weeks, more so this last week than the last 2 to 3, is that there have been a lot of people in the public asking questions of a lot of ET or galactic type groups. Hello, Cheryl. Shiva, how you doing? Hope I'm catching everybody. All the names that are popping through. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for showing up, for staying, for sticking around. I appreciate it. Hey, Clayton. So, point being, I got repeatedly called a liar. Now, I'm used to getting called all kinds of things, including being called a liar. Lich Luna, that's not here. We're not dealing with any of that, and that will get you hidden on my channel. I'm not putting up with that kind of stuff, period. That's not what this is about, and that is essentially scrolling, and not scrolling, trolling, sorry. Hey Trace, how you doing, hun? So if you're going to be a troll, move the F along, because I'm not tolerating your ass in my chat. Period. So anyway, I get an awful lot of shit and name calling and all of that kind of stuff. But this one particular guy couldn't shut his fucking mouth for anything, because he basically wanted to troll anybody who was in that group. Didn't matter if it was oh, hey little Cam, thank you. Big hugs to you. I appreciate that. Rehan Shorts. Hello. Hello, Jake. Oh, that's fun. All right. So, hi from Paris. Hello, Dirk. Dirk from Paris. Hello. Okay, so now we're scrolling back up. Anyway, hello, Jerry. You know, folks, if you cannot be nice in somebody's chat, why the F are you here? This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, disinformation, the state of being. Hello, how you doing? They send out disinformation against disinformation agents all the time. Yes, they do. And it's very frustrating when you're in a group. Granted, it's a public group, but you find trolls who are people who are not just disinformation agents, but who are real assholes because they don't know how to behave. They don't give two shits about being an ET abductee, what it's like for that person, Because for some people, it can be, 17-7 on the numbers, and 10-10. It can be truly a beautiful experience for some people. And for others, like me, it is a mixed bag. You get the love and light in some things. You receive love and light from some extraterrestrials. And then other extraterrestrials can be like talking to a combination of cold-blooded attorney, no humor, legalese up the wazoo is what it's like talking to them. And no emotions whatsoever. And then you've got ones that are friendly and loving and caring. They're not the love and light, but they are friendly, they are loving, they are caring. They do give a damn about humans. Then you come across those who are 8 and 9 feet tall. Now, not all 8 and 9 feet tall ETs are going to be like this, but some of the ones that I've come across have been. I am done with that. Matter of fact, you're about to be blocked because I am not putting up with that crap in my chat. Yeah, okay, here's something that someone just said. The only sweet pea just said, you guys need to be respectful. Whatever you do to people, it will come right back to you. Respect others' platform. Her platform is peaceful and respectful. Thank you. Big hugs and a kiss on the cheek for that, for me. That's a big deal to me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so Miss Annabis is saying, like Sean Ryan having The Exorcist on his show, and he said aliens are demons. They're not. That's really inaccurate information. They're not demons by any stretch of the imagination. This person goes on to say, I think like certain generations are more prone to think that. Yeah, I agree. So I'm Gen X. Typically Gen X and older, like the boomers, oh, very much so. It's all evil and demons and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it depends on what generation you're in. I do agree with that to some degree. And it's difficult. It's difficult being an ET abductee. Many people, because of the kind of reactions that I'm receiving, that's why people don't talk. Because you get a lot of shit. And those that can't handle the... I was going to say tumultuous, but it's not. It's downright vicious. People in the public are downright vicious when it comes to an ET abductee talking about their experiences, and that's all they want to talk about is their experiences. They want to get it out in the open. Well, that's good for them. The problem is that how are they going to be treated at home? Are their family members going to call them delusional? Are their family members going to call them liars? Is it going to get to the point to where those family members tried to institutionalize to say that person is balls out crazy when in fact they're not, simply because they're an ET abductee? More and more ET abductees, in my opinion, we need to stand up. We need to take a stand up, say this is what's happened to us. We want to know what the hell can be done about it. And we need proper counseling because this is traumatic. It is creating traumatic, post-traumatic stress disorder, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And guess what? The psychology and psychiatric communities need to get their asses involved in this, and not to downplay or not to say that that person is crazy because they've had that traumatic experience. These experiences are happening, and they are for many people they are traumatic. For others they are not. You have the love and the light kind of ETs that are abducting people, but you also have ETs who are putting people into hybridization programs, not necessarily with their conscious agreement. It may be a soul contract, and the person, that human, is not aware that they've got a soul contract with a, I was going to say a group, but with a, I keep wanting to use the word group. Get that out of your head. That's my dyslexia kicking in. Sorry, folks. Where you get a certain species or race of ET who are doing the abductions. So there are many different levels. It can be very traumatic, especially for a woman, because they're actually going inside of your physical body. And many times, us ladies, we can feel that. Hello. Even when they knock us unconscious, or they try to put us into a dream state. So yes, these are the kinds of things. That's versions of it. Starts with an R, ends with an E. In the human's mind, that's a word. For many women, that is what it's going to feel like. If you don't know what the hell is going on with you, that you are an ET abductee, but you're living your average, everyday, normal life, and you're experiencing these kind of things, it can be truly terrifying. So, this is something that needs to be put into our medical, not pharmaceutical shit, but our medical history across this planet needs to change, because our bodies are being changed and our bodies are being effed with. Now, that all said, that's my issues of anger coming out as an ET abductee. That all said, I am incredibly thankful and grateful for the hybridized or the hybrid children that I've got. They are living, breathing beings because of my physical body. Now, that's not going to go over well with a lot of people. I get that. I understand that. And I'm at a stage in my life where I don't give two rats shit what you think of me. I love people. I love humans. I love humanity. But there are aspects of humanity that are truly freaking scary. Now, I'm quite a ways up in the chat, so let me scroll down. 3013 on the numbers right now. So this is an example. Okay, wait a minute. Nisrinhill Jazzy 86. Aliens are not even real. See, there's an opinion. They don't know that as fact. They only have their opinion. I know it. It's real. And I don't give two shits if you don't believe me. If you don't believe me, why the hell are you here? Are you think this is a shit show? Scroll along then. This isn't the podcast for you. I get it. Sharon, put your question in all caps for Nikki. Thank you, Cheryl. Sharon Kennedy. Have you ever heard of one called a cylinder head? I know someone who... Whoops. I know someone who says the scene... spelled S-C-E-N-E, a cylinder head. Cylinder head? No. There's some interesting, bizarre shapes in extraterrestrials, but yeah. What's Jenny's number? Oh God, 8675309. That is bad. Little do they know. Yeah. Okay. Carson Ross, I see so many UFOs in Washington up in the North Cascades. Yeah, I have too. There's quite a few of them up around Baker. North Cascades, around Baker, that kind of area. Life Under Pressure, I was abducted too. Yeah, I can relate. Heard of the ones that look like a cylinder. Yeah, no, I've never seen one that looks like a cylinder head. No. Although I do have to say, Sharon, I have seen one. My very first. Oh no, it's not my first. It's not. Well, maybe it is my first. No, because I was. It was 4 when that happened. So I was 5 when my mom and I were abducted. ET abducted right off of Southern I-5 in the middle of the night while she was driving, and I was so excited we were headed to California, and I was going to go get to see my stepfather's family and their farm, and coming up around the curve of this one specific, because we were starting to head up into mountains, or we were in the mountains already, and we were starting to come around this curve, and yeah, they picked the vehicle right up off the freeway, right. I don't know if she was doing 55, 65, 75. I have no idea what the speed was, but the wheels were spinning. Because I was in the passenger seat, and I was sitting on one of the, you have a seat over the wheel well, and that's where I was sitting, and you could hear and feel the wheels just spinning like crazy. The back wheels were going like wild, more so than the front wheels. But anyway, so yeah, so that was 4 years old. That experience with the green van, that was when I was 5. So I did see. Sorry, I had to clarify that in my head. So there is an ET that kind of is similar to Sid in the movie. Oh God, it's the one with the damn squirrel and the nut acorn, or whatever the hell. I never remember the name of the movie. Anyway, it's a great movie. I just don't remember. But Sid, so with he reminds me of great big googly eyes. There's an ET that is their head is kind of like that, only it's bigger. And the eyes aren't like right here. They're like right here. But I call them googly eyes because I don't know what else to call them. But yeah, there's that kind of an ET. I wouldn't call it a cylinder head. No long neck. It was a short neck. I remember that. And brown skin. God, those eyes. Oh, just, yeah, that made a hell of an impression. It really did. Anyway, so there's your answer to that one. Sharon Kennedy. A second, what kind of horseshit? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. People calling things that I'm talking about horseshit, or they're telling me I'm full of shit, or being called delusional, or being called like that guy in the last 24 hours, constantly being called a liar. Anything I said, everything, because here's the other thing that I wanted to talk about tonight. I do have documentation. I do have evidence. Granted, it's not the greatest, but it is the best that I can do. That's the other thing that you need to understand as the general public. Evidence, most If you are aware you are being abducted, that's the key to that one. That's the key to this statement. If you are aware and you've got documentation, such as you're going through the hybridization program with the ETs, and you find that you're pregnant, whether you're having sex relations with a partner or not, and you find out that you're pregnant, that's documented evidence, medical evidence. I would be checking at least every couple of weeks, depending upon which hybridization program you're in. Sorry, I have to move. My leg is starting to swell again. Gotta get it up off the floor. Ouch. And so there's that kind of aspect to this, to where that's medical documentation, right? Well, that's your history of stuff right there. And if you've got an MRI of the baby, or an ultrasound, transvaginal ultrasound, or some kind of ultrasound, and you've got 4114 on the numbers. Wow. Okay. And you've got that kind of medical evidence. That's great. There are other people that don't have that. They may have pictures. They may have documented, if they've got PCO, if the woman has PCOS and they're an ET abductee, then they're most likely already tracking their menses. And their menses, that's documentation too, because your menses can also play into this, because you can be ET hybrid pregnant at the same time that you're having a period. Okay? Not a lot of women recognize that or realize that. Depending upon the hybridization program you're in, it's a different ballgame. If you're in a hybridization program where you're not giving birth to full term, whatever that full term infant is going, whether that's that full term pregnancy is 5 months or 4 months, because it's very different. Pregnancies are very different with hybrid pregnancies versus human pregnancies. They're very different. So a human pregnancy, 9 months. For many, for some, you've got preemies or there's complications or what have you. That's all part of your medical history, correct? Yes. So, that's documentation. Well, for a woman who has PCOS, your documentation may be a number of factors. It may be you writing your notes and, you're hemorrhaging 1 month. Yes, I am going to get graphic in this, because this is part of being an ET abductee for a woman, okay? For a guy, it's a very different situation. But because women have menses, they have periods, so you're dealing with a whole different ballgame here. You're dealing with the fact that extraterrestrials, they will come and give you an injection, and if they talk to you, if you're aware enough to where they talk to you, like for me, you're getting an inoculation. Well, what the are you inoculating me for? Well, one of the first inoculations that I actually remember was in 2020 when COVID was going on. They came in. I absolutely stunned. I heard a sound, and you don't typically hear a sound with them if they're in your home and in their I can't think of what the hell they call it. It's not reverse engineering, Nikki. It's when they cloak themselves. I just can't think of the terminology that they told me it was called. Anyway, just a minute. Yeah, here's another example. El Chanto, El Co. Does your insurance cover counseling? Because, bitch, you're nuts. That's the kind of response that I get all the time. I don't give two shits what you think of me. I really don't. I'm kind of done and over what people think of me. I don't give two shits what you think if I'm an ET abductee. I don't give two shits if you, oh, you're fat. Big fucking deal. Hello? That's obvious. You don't have anything more intelligent to say? Really? Come on. So you're what? I know fifth graders that behave better than that. Jesus. I mean, sorry. But seriously, that's just, you know, keep going for good. Don't give up. Thank you, AS223E2F. Thank you. I appreciate that. Bud Morgan, G5P, says, I have seen all 15 seasons of Ancient Alien Astronauts on the History Channel. That makes me an expert on this subject. Now that's hysterically funny. Because even at, because I had my birthday last weekend, even at 58 years old, being a lifelong ET abductee from birth, I don't call myself an expert. And if somebody in this field is calling them an expert, run. If they are calling themselves an expert, run. Get away from them as fast as you frickin' well can. It's a different thing when you're dealing with actual sciences versus this kind of situation. Because our sciences, public sciences, not the deep state shit, because they've got technology that we can't even conceive of yet. Different subject matter, because I've seen it. I've witnessed it. I've held it in my hands. Okay? So, different ballgame. But on this planet, our sciences do not even compare to being an ET abductee. They can't even conceive of what it's like. Well, we need to start learning and start conceiving because of what it's like, because this stuff is affecting our physical bodies. There needs to be medical, and I don't mean intervention. That's not the word. I had the word intervention just popped up into my head. We need medical testing for all the different things that are happening to our physical bodies. We need to come out of this denial shit and this controlled shit from the different governments on this planet. I was about to say something. It's not something for me to say right now. But anyway, especially with what's going on this planet. But anyway, right now in different countries. So, all that said, we need to make some major changes. Hang on. Here we go. I gotta get something to drink. Stir my iced tea. GT Abros. Hey, Nikki, how's your day going? It's been alright. Yeah. I'm going to keep your other one, but I'm going to remove that comment because that's just rude. Yeah, alright. So, we're done with you. You're going to make statements like that to me, I'm done. I don't have to deal with your shit. Oh, that's interesting. What foods do the aliens eat? The Greys, they like chocolate and black pepper. Um, other ET, they like all different kinds. They like human foods. There's a lot of human foods they love. So you've always thought they eat bugs? No, they don't. Have you ever seen a ghost in space? Ooh, interesting question. No, I have not. Going through all my memories, no. I've seen a lot of weird shit in ET ships and in global government ET ships. And even on Mars, some really wild, weird shit. But no. No. Wow, that's an interesting, I've never. Type 3. Bud Morgan, did the aliens try to cure your type 3? You think I've got diabetes? I don't have diabetes. I'm PCOS, but I don't have diabetes. I have a repetitive dream of a flashlight from my window when I was 3 or 4. Yeah, I've had a lot of weird stuff like that, but they weren't flashlights. They were the big ship lights over the house, and it floods the light floods every single room. It is so bright white that it literally floods every single room of the house. Diva is asking, are you Indian? No, dear, I'm not. Lord Ronnie, help us believe too. I don't know how to help you believe. I just know what I've experienced and that I'm willing to talk about it. Do you believe in God? Yes, I do. The chupacabra? Yes, I do. Hello, Hugh. Okay, Clive, I've about had enough of this shit. Lord Ronnie Esquire, what did they do to you upon abduction? Depends. I don't know if I'm going to read that out loud, Miss Annabis. Miss Anna, I don't know if I'm going to... Oh, that one. No, I'm not reading that one out loud because I know what you're talking about. Regarding that missing person, I'm not talking about that tonight. Not publicly, anyway. Miss Ravenka? Raven. I'm just going to call you Raven because that's all I can read right now. Miss Raven, I'm gonna need to know what happened to the car, though. You mean the van? The van. The van was. We were put into it. We were taken up in the van. Mom and I were frozen in place. We were not capable of physically moving. And we were put in. God damn it! Why am I not able to think of the? Sorry, God. Why am I not able to think of the rooms right now? I can't think of the names of the. We were put into a. It's not a. I want to call it a dry dock. It's not a dry dock. Anyway, we were put into a room where they bring vehicles on board, human vehicles or space vehicles, whatever. God, I cannot think of what the hell that's called. Anyway, giant room, and then taken out of the vehicle, instructed to get out of the vehicle on our own accord, and then we were escorted through the ship, to say the least. Anyhow, but the van stayed where it was at, so... Tammy, they are real. I have had 3 incidences, 2 times hovering over me. They were above power lines. But I was like stuck. You were in stuck mode? Yeah, I can understand that. I can hear my friend talking, but I couldn't talk. Oh, yeah. Very. Ice Age. Thank you, Fatty Cakes Productions. I appreciate that. Ice Age. Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. And when that happens, I call... When we are in that form, when we are not allowed to speak, we have no control over our physical body, but yet we sort of do when we don't. We only have control over it when they say we do. I take great issue with that as an ET abductee. I take great frickin' issue of that because we become their little mindless automatons. And I am here to tell you, being a mindless little frickin' automaton pisses me the F off royally. I take great issue with that. And I don't know. I don't know. There are times where my anger pops out like it is tonight, and there are times where it's just like, okay, it is what it is. And it is what it is. But there are things that I don't agree with. And people, such as some of the folks that were earlier in the chat, were making all sorts of really derogatory or nasty statements. Don't care what you think of. Like I said, I don't care what you think of me. Those that love and care about me, those are the ones that I care what they think about me. So yeah, the public, we need to be dealing with these subjects, and there needs to be the psychology and the psychiatry sections need to come out and start dealing with this because it is post-traumatic stress disorder. It is complex because it's happening again and again and again, over and over and over again. So being an ET abductee is not so easy. And then you hear... So if this had been, say, 15, 20 years ago and I had come out, I wouldn't have been able to handle what people are saying. This came with a great deal of time. A great deal of time, a great deal of soul searching, a lot of what they call shadow work, trying to deal and come to terms with all of this. It's not easy. It's not pleasant. They are things that need to be dealt with. There are different aspects of this. Try waking up in a clone body of yourself. You're typically at your current size, this size, and you're in your 34, one of your your clone bodies, because I've got 3. And this deals with SSP. So you're dealing with global governments who are dealing with extraterrestrials. And the extraterrestrials, I woke up in my clone body completely able to sit up because, hello, back then I was thin. I was somewhat overweight, but I was still thin. And I could get up. Matter of fact, that was in the days when I was shoveling dirt and building terraces and in yards and doing all kinds of yard work and building different things and doing all sorts of stuff. So I was very active, very muscular, very fit. And I sat right up and I went, oh my God, I don't got a tummy. And then I realized, oh my God, the boobs are perky and they're up. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm in one of my clone bodies. And I'm looking down and here's 7 to 9 metal rods sticking out of my legs. And I'm like, what the fuck are these things doing in my leg? And I start yanking them out, and it doesn't hurt. And I'm like, it hurt when they came out, but when they were sliding, it didn't hurt at all. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? What is this? What's happening to me? What's being done to me? Well, as soon as they realized that I was awake and sitting upright, I got knocked completely out. And they were really freaking fast at it. Enough to where it scared the shit out of me, and it probably left a hell of a bruise or concussion on the clone body. So, yeah. When the rods came out, because I managed to get 3 or 4 of them, or I was in the process of pulling out the 4th one. Because I pulled this, I yanked that one, started going for this one, and I was about to pull. So yeah. Anyway, so as they're sliding through the skin, it doesn't hurt. As soon as it popped through the surface, the actual ouch came from when it popped, and the skin. I mean, as I'm talking about this, I used to have a mark on my arm, coming back from an ET abduction, till I finally told them I'm allergic to that metal. Whatever metal you're using on me, I'm freaking allergic to it, and you're causing me burns and blisters by the device you're using. And when they started changing out the device, I never had any more allergy reactions. Because I'm allergic to a number of types of metals. And it's why a lot of my stuff is on leather. So, things like silver and titanium I can wear, but like gold I can't. It just sucks. Unless it's 18 karat or above, which gets really fucking expensive. But anyway, my point being is that, yeah, I've had all kinds of bizarre, really weird experiences with the ETs. Whether they're the ETs that work with human governments, or whether they are part of the hybridization program, or whether they are part of some other group, I suppose is what you'd call them. But and people don't understand that. I mean, there's a lot of things that I haven't done. Hypnosis regression, I've talked about that repeatedly. But the public needs to grasp a hold of what is actually taking place. And in many ways, that is actually starting to come forward because of, do not want this individual's name. Anyway, I'm just going to use his initials, J.E., because of what he has done and got going, It was already going long before he came into play. In my opinion, these are my opinion. This is not psychic. This is not. But the thing is that there are vast children being taken. I was abducted essentially from birth. My first memories are at age 4 years old, and I've talked about this repeatedly. I will probably forever talk about it till I'm probably blue in the face. Fine, okay. So, we need to come together as humanity, then save our children, because our children are being used in horrific things. Whether it's from situations such as J.E. and those who used him, or situations that were geared up by government directly, and women and men being MK Ultra'd, essentially, and hypnotized in such a way to where they become what are known as presidential models for sex slaves. That kind of stuff I've been finding out has been going back to the 1940s. There are people that I know that I just... So you've got children, both male and female, that are that kind of situation is happening to, and then you've got the adults where that situation is happening to them. So we need to come together and start really protecting the children of this planet, because a lot of shit is going down, and a lot more needs to be brought out and brought to the surface. This is horrific stuff, folks, and we need to start dealing with it and man the up and get the balls and go and deal with these situations. This is not okay. Our kids deserve better. The children of this planet deserve better. So, and I don't know, it's just, I'm very frustrated by everything that I'm hearing, and yet I honestly believe now is the time for those kids. For the kids that have been, I mean, how many survivors of those kind of experiences? You're dealing with such horrific events. Well, the counselors need to, and the psychology and the psychiatry sections of this planet need to come together and start creating and building not a facility, but not a bank, what the hell is it called? A healing center, a type of healing center for survivors. Well, hello, I'm a survivor of ET abductions, let alone government ET abductions. That comes into play too. That goes back into what the hell they've been dealing with the GATE program. So, yeah, the old saying of the children are our future. Well, they are our future. Then why are we treating them so shabbily and in such horrific ways? I mean, seriously. So it's happening time and time and time again. And now is the time. Take the stand. Stand up for the kids. Stand up for the ET abductees. Right now is the time where all of that is coming to play. And yet at the same time, we've got wars going on, skirmishes, the old terminology in the 70s, skirmishes, fighting going on this planet. And yeah, it's old school shit. It's real old school shit. And yet, those folks are being severely affected as well. We need to do better. We as humanity need to do better for ourselves. So it's, and quite honestly, I don't know how long I'm going to be on tonight. I am feeling better right now, but with my right calf starting to swell and my right ankle, it's probably going to be a short night. So there's that aspect of things that isn't that fun. I haven't seen stuff in a while, so let me get through here. Sorry. That was a response to seeing from Paul Romero asking me, did you vote for somebody specific? No, I most certainly did not. Just joshing for free, not delusions, just mislabeling, no aliens, they're demons. Yeah, I start laughing when I see stuff like that. Excuse me. Kevin Cope, you can't get pregnant without sex. Actually, you can. Let's see here. Your mom was in the hybridization program, says 1000 air radio. Interesting. Oh, hit a button. To those that I've missed saying hello to, I'm saying hello now. Where am I from? Seattle, Washington. Hello, Ethiopia, Texas. New Jersey. Carson. Hey, Carson. How you doing? Hit a button. I didn't mean to. Emma Dolly, I've had a reoccurring dream about being abducted. Sharon Kennedy, I think you're awesome. Thank you, I appreciate that. Emma, care to talk about it? I understand if you're not. Told it was sleep paralysis. Well, sometimes that can happen. Which one? Which gap? There's a story to that. What do you think they spray the skies? Okay. Do aliens live on the dark side of the moon? No, the moon is... So Sharon Kennedy has asked that question. No, actually, the moon is it's a base. So there's an intersection to that base. I've been on it, in it, around it, whatever you want to call it. They've got a jump room there. Okay. Good question, Miss Annabis. So Anna says, how do aliens get the ability to see through our eyes, hear through our ears, and read our minds? If that happens to you, is there any way to find out who or what is looking through your eyes? Okay. There's a couple of responses to that question, that series of questions, actually. One, possession. So there's possession. That doesn't have anything to do with ETs. That has to do with spirits and demonics and blah, blah, blah. Then you've got the only time that the ET... Well, no, there's two times. What I was going to say was that the only time that the ETs can see, hear, everything that you had said, is when you're hybrid pregnant. Because the baby has the ability to see everything that you see through your eyes, the ability to hear everything you hear through your ears, what you speak, what you think. They have access to everything. Now, if you're on board, usually it's a specific kind of ET ship. And I'm not talking about the ETs who are working with global government, but the other group of ETs, they have abilities to do that. I've talked about that, I think I think it was 2025. It was either 2025, 2024, one of the two. They do have that ability. They have the ability to, when you are on their table, they have, depending upon which ET, how do you say that? Which species, race of ET, they have the ability to go through your mind. They go through your memories. Yeah, it's possible. That's why I threatened the, who I did with what I did about talking about, I think that was in 2022, the fact that with what was being done to me via government, via the kind of targeting that I was going through because of them, the ETs knew it. They know exactly who to go after because they saw through my memories what I was experiencing, what I was feeling. On top of it, they've also got devices on me, around me, and in me is how I was trying to say that. So, yeah. That's just how it is. And the only reason why I know that is because there was a memory that I've got to where I'm on a table and I can see... How do I describe this? Well, at one time I was on the table and I raised my head and I looked and I could see... How do I explain this? It's like a wall... and on the wall they had, they were working on things down below, and they had, it's not a keyboard. It's like a touchpad of some kind over, and they didn't even have to touch it. at least not from what I remember from that specific experience. So I'm wondering. I've always wondered if that was via telepathy. They were using their mind, their energy to operate because all they had to do is put their hands over different things and the different what looked like lack of a better word, button. It's not a real button because it's everything is flat and smooth. But it lit up, and they weren't even touching it. And the thing in front of them, the screen in front of them, just automatically disappeared and showed up at different times when they needed it to. But they were going through, I could see they were going through some of my memories. And that's how I know that, because I frickin' saw it. Another time, and I always thought this was the same incident. Another time I was in the exact opposite position to where I would have had to have gone back like that to be able to see. And I saw something, it was reflective, and I saw that they were still working on that kind of stuff. I saw something up above and it was reflective, but I don't remember what it was. Because I just remember the light, but I remember something that was reflective and I could see back there. And all of a sudden, I remember going forward, and I mean my vision going forward, and that's all I remember. So you've got situations like that, and I knew that they were accessing my brain and my memories because I was being asked to think about something. I don't remember what it was right now. I never wrote that kind of thing down. I never wrote down what I was asked to think of, but Anyway, so these are some of the memories that you go through. That's what it's like being an ET abductee. Oh, so freaking fun. So, great question, Anna. Great question. Hello from Mississippi. Hello. Oh, Aussie Ange. Hey, hon. How you doing? Oh. Uh-oh. Apparently I had a... Uh-oh. That's not good. Just a second, guys. Hang on. One moment. Ouch, 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 ouch. I gotta check on my leg. Something just happened. That's not good. Okay, hang on one second, folks. Ouch, 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 ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. Okay. Ozzy Ange is in the house. Yay! How you doing, sweetheart? Sorry, I got ice packs on me right now. Okay. Let's see, what else did I miss? Whoops. Keeley Pack 2735. Your clone gains weight. If you do, no. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Ever get confused whether you're in your own body or a clone body? How can you be sure? Hello, my clone bodies are usually well and healthy and svelte, thin, and I have all of my abilities. I'm physically capable of doing anything and everything. That's how I know. Okay, reading chat, folks. Just a second. Don't judge if I am a vegan. Can I ask a question on black hole? You can ask me a question, but whoops. It's not a guarantee you're going to get an answer. You're on your 30th phone? Jesus. So Tammy Lewis is saying, I also have severe nerve damage. I have issues with wearing watches and earrings, and sometimes my electronics will glitch out or act strange. That's why I'm on my 30th phone now. Yeah, I understand that. That's typical for an ET abductee. It doesn't say that you are one, but just an FYI, it is really rather typical. Thank you, little Cam. I appreciate you immensely. Oh, that's an interesting. Okay, so Steel Broski, is saying, evening. Trust all is well. I'm curious about your thoughts of aliens replacing humans in positions of power in order to shape the world. Do you believe this takes place? No, I don't. Um... T. McGrew. Wow. T. McGrew. It's been a while. Could have sworn you were here last year. Hey, Nikki, what are your thoughts on choosing your parents and they turn out to be horrible, toxic people? Maybe a little deep. Yeah, that is a little deep. That's a whole lot deep. Yeah, we're supposed to be choosing our parents in order to learn. I hate that. I honestly, I really dislike that because there are so many aspects to that one. There's so much derogatory shit to that one. And yet, there are people that I know that do not believe that at all. They're experiencers, and they had horrific parents, and they do not believe that. I do believe that because we are supposed to be learning. But then again, I know other people who... It's really good questions. I know other people who are like, yeah, I had to experience that to get to where I'm at now. And then you get people that are just so severely stuck in the abuse format that they were dealt, and they're not, for whatever reason, choosing or capable of what's the word I'm looking for? They're making a choice, a deliberate choice, deliberate conscious choice not to seek help, to grow, to learn, and it's always about the blame game. And it's always, everything is always negative and derogatory, and nothing ever goes right for them, and all of that. Well, when you go in and start doing counseling and start looking at the choices that you made at the same time as different things that you're learning. It's a hell of an eye-opener. It really is. And a lot of times when people choose not to grow and move on, and part of it is moving on, part of it isn't. I get that, because I've been down the counseling road of all of it, and it's not fun. And it's not fun taking a look at ourselves and every freaking choice that we made, because who the hell wants to do that? That's not fun. It's not fun, but a lot of times it's very necessary for us to be able to move forward in our life. And especially to have, and I don't care if you've got an IQ of 150 or 160. I don't give two shits. If you are stuck in a situation, well, not so much in a situation, but in a way to where you're making the choice, if you're that smart, then why are you not doing the work that it takes to get you out of that derogatory, naysaying? It comes down to fear. It also there's a number of other factors that it boils down to. So it gets very difficult for people. And then you add being an ET abductee, or you add remembering your past lives. Ooh, things get real touchy real fast regarding the psychology of stuff. So you've got to be willing to do the work to get through this life that we have. Hang on a second, guys. I've got to get this leg up here. Ouch, 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 ouch. Okay, I gotta put the cream on it. See if that helps a little bit. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, lotion up the leg. Isn't that fun? Yeah, I don't want the skin splitting. I got a weird spot on it. I don't know what the hell's going on. The rest of my leg is just hunky-dory fine, but that one. Anyway, you gotta do what you gotta do. And unfortunately, this had to be on camera. F that. Anyway, so it's part of my life. So, hello. Anyhow, another brick. Okay, hang on a minute. Let's see. Oh, Joe's in the house. Hey, Joe. Oh, thank you, hon. When do we... Oh, Joe. Okay, so Joe has asked, when we go to court, can we blame the alien that took us over for the things that we did? It doesn't exactly work that way. Big hugs and a kiss on the cheek, my dear. I appreciate my mods immensely. I'm very... I'm a twin, and my twin looks nothing like me. Well, that happens when you're not a... What is it? Fraternal? I can't remember. There's one that's the fraternal, one that's the paternal. I never remember which is which right now. They're like, one is identical and the other one isn't. So yeah, I get it. I don't know. I've never been asked that question, Cheryl. So is it possible? I can only make, a major guess. But yet, at the same time, I don't think so. So, on one hand, I say yes. On another hand, no. And Pink Statute, if I did, what the fuck would I be telling you publicly for? Wow, what a hell of a... comment. Question. Patty Smith. How old are you, dear? I am 58. God, I have a hard time with being 58. Just turned 58. You're making it up. No, actually, I'm not. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Second live I've caught of yours, and if I may ask, what happened to you? Experiences when you were young? What happened to me? Well, let's see. You got E.T. abductee from essentially birth. My first memory is at age 4 years old on board craft, and I saw that, which is the Butterfly Nebula. I knew it as something different because that's what they told me. It was called something different. I'm a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. Been down that road. The perp died last year and came to find me and ask forgiveness. I had things to say over that one. Let's see. I had 2 fathers who were stalkers. How's that? Ba-dum-bum. And there's more than, and I'm a survivor of forced SSP. So, that started when I was 8 years old. So here you have so it's complex. It's, complex PTSD. Ouch, ouch, ouch. I get that. I understand that. I understand where, and I'm very thankful that I went through the counseling for the childhood sexual abuse. I don't have a problem talking about it. Because, hello, I did my counseling. I did the go to the groups and talk physically. Back in the day, that's what you did. You didn't have Zoom back then. I had a girlfriend who was a survivor as well of childhood sexual abuse, and she and I found a support group in our local area, and we would attend once or twice a week. And then we'd go out and have a meal because we were just kind of overwhelmed. And so our 2-hour meeting would turn into a 4-hour event. And both of us chose, and now my dear friend is on the other side, but we chose to help ourselves and to heal and to learn and to grow. And you have to do that. And it's not easy. And the fact that as religious as she is. I had to think about that, how to word that. The fact that she chose to is a very, very, very big deal. I can't even begin to tell her kudos for doing that for herself. You've got to, in order to deal with these kind of things, you've got to you got to do the hard work. And it is hard work. And sometimes you don't think you're ever going to get through it, but you know damn well you will. It's just, God, the shit that happened to you. And you work through it. You find a way and you work through it. And you find things that work for you. That's the biggest thing in being an ET abductee. When you're dealing with this, you've got to find the support that you need. And it's not easy, but it's vital. It's vital to survive this. And if you've got family who is being just horrific with you about it, or they're gaslighting you and, oh, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. It must have been this instead. Well, they can't grasp or wrap their brain around the subject matter because it's so foreign to so many people. And, oh, ETs aren't real. Well, hello. If you have that belief system, then you're falling for the frickin' narrative that have been put out by vast governments since the 40s. I mean, and they're very good at it now. Hello. Very, very good at it. And now the thing is that people, they're not believing it anymore because government has been shown to constantly lie to the public. Hello. Oh, it's for their security. Bullshit. There's some things that, yeah, there are for the security, but then there are a lot of other things that are absolutely not. And it's because they want the control over the narrative. Well, it's too frightening. Well, for some people, yeah, it can be. But there are those of us who are willing and able to step into the, and fact that I'm even saying this, I cannot stand the fact that I'm even saying this, but who are willing and able to step into the spotlight to back something in order to say, hey, there are others of us. We need to come together. We need to stick together. We need to talk about this. We are the disclosure. Not the government. Experiencers are the disclosure. Think about that. We're the ones who are walking down the frickin' hallways of these ET ships. We're the ones who are walking at home, if you're a female and you're in a hybridization program, to where you're pregnant 6 weeks at a time or up to 3 or 4 months at a time before they come and get the baby and put it into a gestational container. And God help you if you're a female and you're in one of the hybridization programs and you are giving birth on board ship. You're going to full term. That's a totally different hybridization program. There are many different ways that we need to be supporting each other. We need to be coming together and taking a stand and saying, hey, this is us. I'm not enthusiastic about I'm going to be blunt. I'm not enthusiastic about talking about all of this. But I'm doing it because I know that there are numerous other ET abductees out there who have experienced so much more than I have. And many of them remember it, either on their own or because they've gone through hypnosis regression sessions. Now, the only reason why I'm not choosing to do hypnosis regression sessions is because in a court of law, that is not allowed. And I've been repeatedly psychically shown that I'm going to be standing in front of Congress along with vast other people. It's what I was shown was mind-bending to me. I mean, I can't, to be honest, I can't conceive of such a thing because of how our government is right now and has been for years. But what I've been psychically shown repeatedly in psychic downloads is that, yeah, us experiencers, us ET abductees, those of us that remember experiences with SSP that deals with U.S. government, we're going to be in front of Congress at some point in time. And I am here to tell you, with what I was shown in 3 different psychic download visions, I was shown to where it was standing room only in those congressional hearings. And it was out the hallway and down the hallway. There were speakers on the ground to where this could be heard. It was television everywhere. This is a big deal. If this is truly going to be taking place, there's a lot of things that have to change within the U.S. government in order for that to happen. And a lot of things are starting to change now. I was about to say something that can be construed as political, and I don't want to do that. I'm not a fan of certain individuals because of how they were in the 1980s. And my mom, that was one of the things that I'm very, very, very thankful for about my mom. She raised me to research. And in the 1980s and early 1990s, one of the things that we used to read in the newspaper was about a certain individual never paying taxes or never paying their employees. That made a big impression in my family. Really big impression in my family. Between my mom and my grandfather, holy crap, they had a lot to say over that individual. And the individual that we're talking about is now the head of something really big, and there were all kinds of, and it wasn't just rumors, there were lawsuits and things, and my family watched and learned. And yet we have a situation to where it, and I'm like, it just absolutely astounds me. And I've gone way up. Just, thank you, Joe, for continuing. Possible artificial insemination. Yeah, the ETs, that's what they do. They will inseminate the women with a fertilized egg that has been what I call sliced and diced. It gets real interesting real fast. Good question, Sharon. Sharon Kennedy is asking, I'm still up. I have another question. Is there any way for me to contact an alien? And this is a serious question. To come to my house. I really don't have any neighbors, so they wouldn't see it come and land. Kevin, I don't do things like that. You sound like the lady I was vibing with on the phone last week. No, I didn't do things like that. Oh my god, why your leg? Oh, thank you for just, Torta Pounders. Okay. I just subscribed. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate that. Very much. Heartfelt. Thank you. Did they chip you? Yes, they did. So in order to, I'm getting away from certain things. Sharon, in answer to your question, yeah, I don't know about, That's a process. What you just asked was a major process. And that process is you've got to get into the right state of mind. It takes a while to get to that level. And then start going out and watching the skies and putting the right kind of energy, the positive energy out there. And you might be surprised what you find out. I know a lot of people that do got a brain fart going, I can't think of what it's called, where they watch the skies, sky watches. And then there are folks like is it Melinda Leslie or Lorian Fenton, and who I believe she's in California or Arizona. I always get the two goofed up. Lorian Fenton, Lorien, Lorian Fenton, does sky watches in a specific way, and so does Misha Johnston, who is based out of Las Vegas, and they both do sky watches, real specific kinds of sky watches. Personally, I would go with one of them. They're very good because it's the right kind of energy, and you see a lot of different things in the sky. Is how I was going to word that, but you'll see anywhere from UAP, which is government, space vehicles, all the way to actual UFOs. And they'll know more about all of that than I ever would, because I don't go out and do that. I always know, well, not always, usually, I suppose is how I should say that. I usually know when there are certain ET ships around. I don't know how else to say that. You get a as an ET abductee, sometimes, not always, you will receive a like an inner knowing when they're around. Are my clones hot? Yeah, actually they yeah, they are. They don't do drugs. Behind the ear and behind the knee. Divine Hazel, yeah, they can actually put chips, as you call them. They can be anywhere on the body. They can be in the ears, behind the sinus cavity, or in the sinus cavity, in the arms, legs, torso. Hell, they can even put it. They can even put a device in your auric field. Yeah, I've had that happen. Oh, ridiculous. Okay. Oops. Up. So do aliens use electricity? Well, they do, but they don't. I don't know how to explain that. They use a form of energy that I've never been able to properly explain. So I don't know how else to answer your question. The one that would be able to, well, in my opinion, the one person that would be able to answer that specific question would be our Keith Andrews. You're from Iran, okay. They live in Volcano. Not that I'm aware of. Thank you, Joe, for being a mod. I appreciate that. Okay. They live in the center of Mount Shasta. Well, okay, so everybody that I have known that has talked about Mount Shasta has talked about having really good experiences. That's not my experience. So everybody's got a different way to view that. A lot of people talk about how good of experiences they've had with the ETs based out of Mount Shasta. This is not my experience. I can't stand being around Mount Shasta. I get really, really bad vibes off of that mountain. So bad, in fact, that it reminds me of some of the ETs, some of the really detrimental ETs. The ones that scare the ever living. I knew that was bad. Sorry, I've got a sweetener stuck to my. That's weird saying that. Sweetener from my cup. Anyway, I was goofing around with the mug trying to get. I got two little sweetener pieces that are stuck to the mug. Anyway. Yeah, Mount Shasta is not a favorite place of mine. The feelings that I get from Mount Shasta are really negative and detrimental. And I honestly, and anybody that's ever driven me anywhere that has to do with that mountain, I get really nervous energy is how I would put it. I get really nervous energy. And then the closer I get to certain areas of that mountain, real specific areas, then I'm like, get me out of this car. Get me out of this car. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be around this mountain. No. And I'll avoid it like the plague. I mean, it's just how it is. It's a gorgeous area. I love the area because of the beauty. It's just stunning. But when you get a guttural feel that is terrifying to you, yeah. So I'm glad you've had good experiences. And very rarely have I ever heard of anybody talking about negative experiences regarding Mount Shasta. Okay. Let's see. T implants, yeah, 42. Haha. My son is human. My son that is 34 years old, he's human. He's not human hybrid. He's human. Kathy, Dorothy, you are survivor. Yes. Thank you, Divine Hazel. Nikki lives in Washington State. You are a real survivor. Yes, aliens are. Yeah. Tasaki, you're the alien in a human bodysuit. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I could tell you about black helicopters. Oh, so fun. Cheryl, good question. Good question. Oh, how fast do you... I missed that. I'm glad I saw that. How fast do spacecraft fly? Oh, holy crap. Blink of an eye, and you're across the sky. In the blink of an eye, you are across the sky. That fast. Figure that out. You do the math on that, on how fast that is. I don't have a freaking clue. Okay. Unforeseen says, I've never been convinced by a single person who thinks they have been abducted by an alien. That's fine. Interstellar Park Ranger. Not all heroes wear capes. The light shines bright with you, Nikki. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't think you mean Billy Carter. Howdy 627 says Billy Carter saw a UFO. I think you mean Billy Meyer is who I think you mean. Oh, Lauren Harrington. Hi, my dear sister Nikki. I received a very serious message from a highly respected source. And we are waiting on reinforcements. Very interesting statement. Thank you, Lauren. Are you the one that... There was a Lauren that said she tried to friend request me on Facebook Messenger, or on Facebook. And I just realized I don't remember if the last name is correct, though. Do hybrids, humans, only reproduce with other hybrids? No. Not that I'm aware of. Based on what I understand, whoever they're compatible with. That's very sweet. Jake Simons says, just wanted to say you're beautiful on every way. God is with you and always will be walking your side. Never forget that. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Thanks. Love your back wallpaper. That is a tapestry that I got from Amazon. Don't even ask that. I can't even find it anymore. I know that they had it out there at some point, but oh my god. Oh, there go the toes. Oh, there go the toes. Ooh, we may have to do some very specific things here in a minute. Vinny said, oh, hang on a minute. Stupid button. I hit a stupid button. Vinny, do you believe in mermaids? Actually, yes, I do. I met one yesterday, but nobody believes me. I'm so sorry. Sorry that nobody believes you. But yeah, I do believe in mermaids. I know they are in existence. Do not ask me how I know. I'm not getting into that tonight. Okay. J. Bear. Is that like BJ and the Bear? ET ships are not normally just flying around civilian airspace. Actually, tend to disagree. Most people mistakenly misidentify UFOs. Yes, that I agree with. What I don't agree with is that ET ships are not normally just flying around civilian airspace. Actually, it depends on what's taking place. But yeah, we get quite a few. Matter of fact, we've got a. Gotta be careful what I say here. There are a number of cloaked, smaller motherships across the planet. Hello, did you know that? The only reason why I know it is because of what one of my hybrid sons did. So, it was during an ET abduction. And I remember looking out and I'm going, I was in a car, I was a passenger in a car, and I'm looking out the window going, what the hell? And I could feel them. Trotting down the road. We were driving down the road, and my hybrid son says, "Hey, Mom," very loudly, and I went, "Oh my God, you're here!" He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get to see you tonight," and I'm like, "Oh wow." It was like he was sitting right next to me. He was really, really loud, and I kind of looked up, and he's like, "Yeah, we're there," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know you are." Because it was weird, because I had this kind of unusual feeling, and I didn't, it wasn't a typical ET type of feeling. And yeah, they have these long-range motherships, and it's because of that situation that I found out that, yeah, the long-range motherships, they're smaller motherships than some of the, but it's still the big ones. God. They are two American NFL football field. How do I say this? They're 2 football fields wide, and 2 or 3. I used to do this years ago, and now I can't remember the exact dimensions, but it was like 2 football fields wide and 2 or 3 football fields long. The rectangular ones, and that's a mothership, but they're a small mothership. But they are ones that do travel very, very freaking long distances. They don't just have one. There's a few of them. And so, yeah. Depending upon what they're doing. So, yeah, that's how I found that out. It was an interesting little time. Interstellar Park Ranger. Oh my, well, congrats to you and your progressive relationship. You know someone who has one in the arm. Yeah, I know a number of people who has, who've got them in you get scoop marks are also indicative of ET abductions. Yes, I agree. Lauren Harrington 2484 says, to answer your question about having an ET visit you, be careful what you ask for. This is not a game. Very, very good point. It is not a game. And curiosity can get you into some serious trouble if you got the wrong ETs. So, yeah, it can be really part of an issue. Okay, I don't need to know if you've got gas and you've just released it. Good grief. Ridiculous. Joe Monk, Shasta is beautiful. Yeah, it is. It's a truly gorgeous area. I can't be around it. Unless they get rid of, the wrong ETs from there. Oh, here's another lovely comment. Lose some weight. You don't know about me or my life. You have no say in the matter. Okay, who is this? Fuzzmaster General. That is none of your business. It's none of any of the public's business what my sexual orientation is or what I do or don't like. Bugger off. Sharon, so if you have high arches in your feet, are you from planet Earth? And if your feet are flat, does that mean you're from space? Well, that's an interesting set of questions, Sharon. Not a clue. Completely different than what I know. Yeah. You know, speaking of ET feet, I have seen some really interesting feet. There are some ET feet that have what look like a thumb, like almost like a thumbprint, and then it comes up. It's really super skinny at the heel, and then it comes up. It reminds me, sometimes in weird ways, reminds me of a dog or a cat paw, but more. Not the word isn't defined. Thinner down at this section of, but it's like a thumbprint. It comes around, and then spans out and produces toes. You could have 3 toes, 4 toes, 5 toes on it. Usually it's 3 with a heel that's like that. But anyway, yeah, interesting, weird feet. Well, it's not weird. Nikki, I am the one with the huge archive and the information of a highly... Got it, okay. Howdy 627 says Richland, Washington has a lot of clones living there. Interesting. Sharon Kennedy. That's an interesting name because I know Sharon Kennedy, or I used to, years ago. My nephew saw a mothership in Concrete, Washington one night. Wouldn't surprise me. I've seen a mothership up there before. Cool Cat 3032 says China wants to build a military base in on the moon. What is your opinion? I think they'll have major competition is what I think, because there's already a military base there. They'll be fighting. See, this is the kind of comments. I mean, you're built like a mothership. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. Whatever. My response is F you. Divine Hazel. Be respectful or fuck off. Right on, girl. Thank you, Joe. Oh, I'm down at the bottom. Denver, how are you? I'm doing all right. I got a leg that's swelling up like crazy, but don't know why. So I'm gonna have to get done here and go put the leg up and put some stuff on it and all of that. Shout out to Mike. Okay. I'm not saying the last name, but hello, Mike. Okay. Lauren Huntington, here is... Okay, here's, okay, for the brain. Intergalactic Federation has been active for the past 52,000 years. We are not alone. Ha! No hell. No shit, we're not alone. And I'm being a smart ass, and you're being serious. I fully agree with you. We're not alone. We haven't been alone for a very, very long time. Oh, good grief, Brian May. Okay. What is the latest news on black-eyed kids? The latest news? I don't know. I don't know what the latest news is. I do know that I would never trust them. And we're talking about children or young-looking youth that have a human-esque body. Usually the faces are not visually seen by the person. Ouch, 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 ouch. And the eyes, it's not just the pupil that is black. It's the entire eye. The white from this side to that side. The entire eye is black. Run. Get the F away from those folks. Because they're there to target you, in my opinion. So, yeah, get away from them. And run. No need to apologize. You are the real deal. I know. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate that. Very much so. Very, very much so. Yeah, I get a lot of shit. Being called a liar, I was like, dude, you got to do better than calling me a liar, because it was laughable. I mean, anything I ever said was just like, and this guy actually thought that, and sorry, I'm going back to the very beginning, what I first started talking about earlier tonight, 2 hours ago, which actually, yeah, we're at 1 a.m. Pacific time. So I'm going to end probably in the next 20 minutes or so. Just to give Joe Monk and Little Cam heads up, if Little Cam is still in here. So basically, what the fuck were we talking about? And now I'm reconnecting. There we are. Ooh, great question, Cheryl. No, I haven't. Ooh, just made a liar out of myself. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. When you're in space, have you passed or seen another craft? Yes, I have. The reason why I said no originally, because when I've been with regular ETs, meaning those that are doing the hybridization program, those are dealing with other things. That is what I meant, okay? But dealing with the SSP side of it, yes, I have. I have seen other ships. I've seen other humans piloting ships. Oh, hey, Little Cam, thank you. I appreciate that. Wow, the delusional nutcases are out tonight, says D. Nami Yost, whatever that is. Anyway, and that's the kind of shit that I get all the time. I mean, that's just, it gets old. It just gets really frickin' old, you know? Oh, dear God. Hang on a minute. All right, have I ever met the actors who play Scully and Mulder from the X-Files? No, I have not. Jeez. And what I'm talking about tonight is about ET abductions and how the public responds, really, in the grand scheme of things. Oh, thanks, T. McGrew. I appreciate that. It was good listening to you. I enjoy learning and appreciate the chill vibe. Thank you. That is extreme. That is very much appreciated. Thank you. Try and catch your next live. When do you go live, Nikki? Usually it's Saturday nights. I try to do 10 p.m., but lately I've been only able to do 11 p.m. If I miss a Saturday, I try to come back either on Monday or Tuesday. If I can't do that, then what I am learning that I will do is little mini videos and post those in the week. They'll be 5 minutes or 30 minutes in length when things pop up. And so you'll see that in underneath the section that says videos. But the actual lives, I try to do Saturday night. And if I can't, then I'll try to do either a Monday night or a Tuesday night. But yeah, it's and time-wise, it's Pacific time. So long answer to a short question. Saturday nights, 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. Pacific. And I have been known to do 3 to 6 hour lives or even up to 7 hour lives. I don't want to be doing that anymore. And it's just way too long, and it takes me forever to get through the video and to do, and I've missed so much of dealing with the, what the hell is it called? How do you type everything up? Timestamps. So, there we go. And thank you for being here, T. McGrew. I appreciate it. Truly, I very much appreciate it. Cool Cat, I know you don't talk politics in your chat, but do you like that individual? Is he doing a good job for America? Asking for your opinion, please. I'm not enthusiastic about that individual. Absolutely not enthusiastic about that individual. There are certain things that I have seen that he has dealt with that I am thankful for. I'm not going to say what those things are. I will not talk about that publicly. But I'm not a happy camper about certain things that are taking place on this planet right now. Let's put it that way. And that's about as best as you're going to get out of my mouth politically when it comes to that individual. I do have very choice statements, but I don't even talk about that privately. I don't talk about the political situations. I was going to call them fiascos, but I don't talk about the political situation even privately. It's very rare for me to talk because they are such hot button topics. And I learned early on when I was growing up between my mother and my grandfather how political divides a family. How political opinions can seriously divide a family. not interested in dividing. We all have our own opinions, that's fine. And I leave it at that. But when certain things, how do I say this? When certain things come out within a family, and there are wrongdoings or things of that nature, that's the time to be voicing stuff. But I don't talk about political stuff because of what I experienced as a child between my mother and her father. I just don't. The other one was religion. Those were the two subjects that in my life were taboo. And those were two subjects that divided families hardcore. And you've got other family members calling their other family Bible thumpers or some other derogatory term. Not okay. Not okay. So I learned early on how even two sisters can be in great disagreement and how it can divide a family. Saw that too. I was a child, and two sisters who were family members. They were not sisters to me. They were sisters to each other, and they were different individuals in my life. And wow, when you're about 3 years old and you're hearing the two of them fight, yeah, you didn't hear that very often. And then after one of them dies, I don't know what to say about that. It was a heck of a learning experience for me and my household, family, whatever you want to call it. So there's your kind of a weird way of answering that question, Cool Cat. Lauren, be real careful with your evidence, and for God's sake, make duplicates and triplicates. No joke. Things have a tendency to come up missing when people make a public statement like that. So, my dear, get that information in doubles and triplicates and lock one of them down. Hardcore. Hello, Dixon. Cheryl, it's so hard to sign out from this podcast. Yeah, I know. It's like, what the hell is she going to talk about next? I used to do that too. I get it. It's 4:08 here in Louisiana. Oh, hey, Team of Group, Louisiana, huh? Yeah, that makes sense. It's so hard to turn Nikki's program off. I appreciate that too. Little Kim says, "Yep." Yeah. I can't even pronounce AUAYOUBCHIADMI or L. What are your opinions on the ongoing fight? I'm not going to use the W word, the three-lettered W word, in the middle. That's all I'm going to say on it. I'm just going to read your question. That's all I'm going to say. Komoric. Hi, Kiyomoric. Happy Women's Day to us all. Feminism forever. Joe, Jack should have pushed her off the... are you running? I don't even know what that is. Kartiki. Oh, now that makes me want to go... God. Just saying that out loud just made me want to go watch Romancing the Stone. Holy shit. Are you running on B? I don't even know what that is. Cool cat. Does Bigfoot and aliens in space know each other? Yes, they do. The Sasquatch at Mount Baker, up at the north end of the Cascade Mountain Range, they cannot stand the ETs. They cannot stand the ETs at all. Muhammad, hello. No, never. I don't even know where are you? Oh, you're just talking to somebody else. Okay. Lauren, thank you, Nikki. I keep it all stored on my cloaked in the wilderness. Well, now, hey, here's something interesting. So somebody commented about somebody in a group that I was in comment about Men in Black. And I said, actually, I know a Man in Black, retired Man in Black. And you just reminded me that when I was on a podcast with him, with somebody else, and he was giving information, and I got a psychic hit about an ET ship being wedged, is how I'm going to word it, into some rocks. It was a really detrimental ET, I might add, too. Eating humans and amongst other things. How do I know all this? Because I'm an ET abductee, psychic medium, SSP experiencer, forced participant. The Baker's dozen, yeah. Okay. Oh, good question. When's the last time you talked to Bigfoot? It's actually a really good question. I'm trying to think of when the last time was. Okay. It's about 2 weeks. 1.5 to 2 weeks, thereabouts. Could have sworn I had one in my home again via a portal because it was like 72 degrees in the living room. It was the middle of the night, and all of a sudden, to my right, it's almost always to my right. I don't never understand that, but anyway, to my right in my living room at the time, there was what felt like an open door where the couch is, and it literally, all I felt was ice cold air, as if it was from up north in the mountains, like mountain air. It was weird too, because I remember thinking, why do I feel like I'm in altitude? And I didn't hear anything. I smelled and what felt like a female Sasquatch. I don't know how to say that. It felt like a female. They were there. I said, "Oh, hello," and I looked up and I heard this kind of sound, and the portal closed, and that was it. Now, I didn't see anything, but I felt it. And there's a couch. So I'm sitting here, and there's a couch here and a wall. How the hell? So that's usually how they check on me. Yeah, that's done. I'm not dealing with people like that. Joe Monk, Y-Files are great. Yeah, I do agree with that. I enjoy the Y-Files. Cheryl, have you ever been in a submersible... Try this again. Have you ever been in a submersible craft and gone into the ocean? Well, I've not been in a submarine. No, not that I'm aware of. Though I have been in an underground base, and there was a time, the only time that oh God, sorry. Oh, there we go. My foot's finally starting to release. There was that one time where I wondered, but I never had oh, jeez, would you please behave, be nice. There was only that one time that I ever thought I had, but I didn't have any confirmation of it, so I had no way of knowing for sure. So there's your answer. Hey, Woo Riders! How you doing, hun? Okay. Say crazy shit. Yeah, don't worry about it, Benito. Cool Cat, does leprechauns in space aliens know each other? Don't have a frickin' clue. Okay, 99, okay, Lauren. 99% of UFOs are not UFOs. They are unknown. We just don't know what part of the universe they are from. Packers, Hello, Packers. Goodbye, Packers. Joe, you're doing fine. Don't worry about it. You got so many trolls out of here. Chef's kiss, my dear. It's a big deal. Both you and Little Cam have been doing phenomenal jobs, so don't worry about it, my dear. You're doing really good. And I think that's pretty much where I'm going to end. Thank you for not blocking me. Yeah, you're welcome, Benito. Yeah, and you are asking some interesting questions, but don't worry about it. Although a couple of the comments I could do without, but that is how it is. Benito, good night, lady. Yeah. Is it possible to build a real, like the one in Star Wars? I have no idea. Look, I know the moon is a base, because, hello, been there, through SSP. Now, supposedly, that has been pulled into our space environment, I suppose is what you want to call that. and been there for thousands, if not millions of years. So, you know, don't know. I don't know if it could be a weapon or not. I just know what I've seen. What I've seen there was been kind of interesting. Okay, thanks, Lauren. And I think Muffin Lavender. Hang on, Moon's a base. Been there. For somebody claiming to be pretty in the know, you're pretty. Oh, I missed it. Indecisive? Really? Huh. Yeah, the moon is a base. I have been there because that was during my forced participation in secret space program. The only thing about the secret space program that I actually liked was flying, was being a pilot. I remember the hearing tests. So, says Benito. Yeah, I understand. But yeah, the moon is a base. Don't know what else to say on it. But regarding people with constant, I mean, why would, okay, so here's my question that I stated to this person yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Well, yeah, it's yesterday now, so sometime yesterday morning. Not only were they calling me a liar and saying a bunch of other things, they were demanding that I show them my evidence. That's the other thing that I wanted to talk about tonight. Willard Wright, I have no idea. I remember you from SOR. How you doing, Willard? Okay, about to sneeze. Just a second. Okay, that was painful. That hurt. Zuka, I love your stream. I wish you streamed more. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's my goal. Eventually get to be doing that more, but you'll have to start watching for little mini videos from me. 72. Yeah, Willard, weren't you left from Papua New Guinea. Hello, Papua New Guinea. Weren't you part of SOR chat? If I remember correctly, I could be mistaken. Anyway. Willard, I have no idea why machine in 1990s. Anyway, but people... Oh, good night, Cheryl. But people that are making all these kind of statements and derogatory things, they can't conceive of any of what it's like being an ET abductee. They don't believe in ETs, and they're going to troll in chats, whether that is in public group chats or on a live broadcast like mine. So anyway, you just be careful. If you have documentation, my question becomes, why would I show my documentation of my personal body to the public? I can talk about it. That is my evidence. That is my documentation. And because I won't show that documentation, there's a number of things that I will show. I've shown plenty already. Just go back through my videos. You'll find all different kinds of things that I show when I had a second device and was capable of doing that. I'm just not doing that now. And eventually when I do know that I will be on stage talking, when I do presentations, whenever that will be, because that's what I've been shown from the other side. That's what I've been shown from my spirit guides and from my family that's on the other side, that I'm going to be talking on stage. And when I do presentations, hopefully by then I will have all the photographic and documentation, medical and things like that. So, but why do I have to show it? Because the public is demanding it. Like I said, I don't care if you believe me or not. Those that know that I'm telling the truth, they frickin' know, because they're typically an ET abductee. Other ET abductees typically know when somebody is talking real information versus talking shit, talking, the old terminology used to be talking smack. So, I mean, and that can mean so many different things nowadays because, hello, language changes, terminology changes. So, yeah, you got to be careful. And I understand wanting documentation, the proof, the evidence. I get it. I totally understand. Being that person and while watching somebody talk about being an ET abductee and they're talking about their experiences, I understand wanting to say, where's your evidence? I get it. But at the same time, who are we to be asking? Because that's private information. I mean, you're dealing with HIPAA type of situations. Okay, hang on. My nose just started running in the... Ugh, stuff is over here, so I have to use my cane to bounce this silly thing over here. Anyway, there we go. Now I can reach it. God. Everything you gotta do while you're on camera. God almighty. Anyway, all right. Wipe the nose. Here we go. Sorry, guys. You got a nose that's starting to drip. You got to take care of it. Oh, I hit that damn button again. Alright, I'll copy what it's got, because that's not what... Okay. Kathy, what happens to the babies? Kathy Doherty, what happens to the babies? You mean the hybrid babies? The hybrid infants? No, I haven't. I'm not Willard, no, I'm not accusing you of targeting. No, honey. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I was trying to use as examples to delve into different things. No, I'm not. I try not to do psychic stuff while I'm doing these kind of things. Believe me, I'll let you know when I start needing to do that. So exactly what happened between you and... Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Now I understand. All right. You mean great-granddaughter, as I think is what you mean on that. Thank you for all the hearts and the loves. Thank you. That's a good way to look at it, Lauren. Lauren Harrington is saying, for those who need proof, ask yourself this question. What if everything I know is a lie? That's exactly the question that should be asked. I completely agree. Because everything that we do know is a lie. Or almost everything. Because we are force-fed. Okay. I'm not dealing with that shit. We are force-fed controlled narratives. Very, very controlled narratives. I have not a clue as to what you're really going on about. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're constantly being force-fed lies, left, right, and center. And if people are gullible enough, and that's exactly what's happened, because, hello, government was to protect us and to keep us safe and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, isn't that fun? So it becomes, wow. Just had Tommy knockers run through my... I just had the movie, the name of the movie, or the title of the movie called Tommy Knockers. I just had that run through my head. It was a weird thing. No, I don't know who that is. Yeah, I agree with that, and then I disagree with that, Lauren. Lauren said, truth will find you. You will be told when they think you are ready. Yes and no. I've had them tell me when I wasn't. So I agree, and yet I disagree. Figure that one out. But I get where you're going with it. I mean, I totally get where you're going with it. And I appreciate you sticking around and staying with me. Oh, yeah, I was going to be done 10 minutes ago. So, yeah, it's time. It's long past time to go tonight. So 2 hours and essentially 40 minutes. Last remaining questions. If you have a question, put it in the chat now. I will wait a moment, and then we'll end. I'll get through with those, and then we're going to end. Now that I see it, I can't unsee it or unknow. It's great to no longer be manipulated by lies, says the quiet 11111. I understand. Woo Rider says this is spiritual warfare and the global cabal will stop at nothing to release their agenda and put them on humanity. Hello, Storm. Storm says meow. You are a naughty girl. Do you think this AI will turn... What? Wait. Where the hell did that go? Turn into... Oh, that's an interesting. Brian Ray, do you think this AI will turn into Skynet and become self-aware and make Terminator? That's a good question. I honestly don't know. It's possible, but yeah. Even the ETs are. This is what I do know. Even the ETs are not. Some of them, certain kinds of them, are not happy about us having AI. Think about that. Joe, love that. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Let's find out, shall we? 1, 2, 3. It takes 3 licks and 1 bite. Anybody remember that one? That's a Gen X, baby. What are you doing with this feed? Right now we're just BSing, but we're typically talking ETs, extraterrestrials, sci-fi, Ask Mr. Owl, Little Kim, 1, 2 million, 3 trillion, 4 zillion. I don't know that the Woozy 450 says, I don't know your story yet, but I believe in aliens, so I'm very interested. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Angel Boy. Yeah, I remember that. Laugh out loud. Woo Writers, laugh out loud. Angel Boy, I'm Gen Z. Walled. So I can't pronounce the rest of it. Says they are jinns, not aliens, and I disagree because I've known jinns. They're not jinns. They're extraterrestrials. They're real. Angel Boy Barley. Lauren, that's awesome. 10 to the 4x power tongue psi. 35 pounds. Yeah, exactly. All right, folks. Since that is it, I am done for the night. I hope this was interesting information to you or for you. Take very, very good care of yourself. And I hope you have a rest of a very good weekend. Keep your eyes to the skies, folks. Woo Riders, why do you think, okay, Nikki, why do you think the government is pushing, I don't know what that is, alu snare interdimensional beings now? I don't know what that is. Oh, aliens. Pushing aliens are interdimensional beings now. Because I think that they're, quite honestly, I think government has found an interdimensional... I think that might be an easy out for them, is what I think. I could be very wrong, but that's just my opinion for right now. That opinion can change later on. But for right now, yeah, I believe that they found... a way in to get people to... It's really out there. But it might be a way in for them with the public domain, so don't know. Though that opinion of mine, like I said, could change later. Chris Armstrong, has there been any big... What do you mean big backs? Doing space missions yet? Just a thought. Thank you. What do I think about flat earthers? I think that's a... I think they need to do more research because I've seen Earth from space. It's Do you remember the 1970s and 80s where they used to call the Earth the big blue marble? Think of Reading Rainbow. I think it was Reading Rainbow who used to call it the big blue marble. I think. I could be wrong on that, but anyway. Oh, big bucks. Okay. Chris Armstrong, has there been big bucks? Been any big bucks doing space? And they're making big bucks off of it, yeah, because they're stealing. They are drilling, they are mining for on other planets for very specific things for humans on Earth. So yeah, they're making money left over right. Butterfly in the sky. Yeah, thank you, Wuzzy. I appreciate that. Butterfly in the sky. I could go twice as high. Oh, yeah, Reading Rainbow. Anyway, all right, folks. I have not a clue. Reptilian. Would disagree with, are we food for the reptilians? I would disagree with that. What other planets are they drilling? They're mining, oh God, where the hell is the planet what is the name of the planet that the spiders are on? You got 12 to 15 foot spiders, they're mining on that planet. I just don't remember the name of the frickin' planet at this second. And yeah, it's in our galaxy. But they're mining for really specific. It's a form of an ore. But it's a specific metal, specific mineral that they're going after. Thanks, Joe. Lauren says, be the reason aliens talk to us again. Yeah. Angel Boy, bye. I'm going to see y'all later. Yeah. Anyway, I'm done. Take care, all. Have a good week. Be good to yourself. Space spiders? Yeah, they're 12 to 15 feet tall. They are, they've got red and black legs, black bodies with red underneath and how do I just say this? It's black on top, but there's a red there. It's not a widow. It doesn't look like a black widow, but it's got a mark, some kind of red mark on the back. I just can't remember what the hell the mark is, but I remember it being red on black. Anyway, take very good care. Oh, Game Fighter, that's not something we're talking about. No, they don't care about spiders on our planet. Night, night, night from Whoville. Thank you, I appreciate that. Anyway, that's it, folks. Take very good care of yourself. Have a good week. Do yourself a favor and start learning and growing and doing some of the dark shadow work that it takes to move forward in your life. Be good to yourself in that way. Good night, everybody. Bye. And thank you to my mods. Mwah. Chef's kiss to all of you. Love you. Bye, guys.